Why are you being so hateful towards our church? I literally didn't even say anything. Those were just quotes from your apostles. But you're taking them out of context to make our church look bad. Oh, well, I've read the talks. I know the history. I'm very aware of the context. And honestly, I would encourage other people to look up the talks as well, because honestly, the full context actually makes those things worse. But I am curious, in what context do you think those things are okay to say?
It doesn't matter. The time period was different, okay? They were a product of their time. That's how it was back then.
But those men were claiming to speak for the one all-knowing, all-loving, never-changing God. Why would the time period matter if God never changes? Look, the church leaders aren't perfect, okay? The gospel is perfect, but people are not. I'm not expecting perfection, but for God's chosen prophet, I feel like the bar should be higher than racism, sexism, homophobia, whitewashing of history, etc. Listen, lady, not everything a prophet or apostle says is doctrine or part of the gospel. Those are just their opinions, and you're putting them out there as though that's what the church believes. But the church is the one that has claimed that the prophet is the mouthpiece of God. They've literally said that the prophets and apostles cannot lead us astray. In some of those quotes, those prophets literally said that what they were saying was doctrine. And even when they didn't, the church has also taught that the prophet does not have to say, "Thus saith the Lord," to speak scripture. So when they're speaking over the pulpit to the entire church, or they're writing a book directed towards members of the church, isn't that the prophet speaking for God? And even if that wasn't the case and all of these things really are just their opinions, this is the prophet and the apostles that were handpicked by God to lead this church. Nobody is perfect and everybody has problems, but why would God go out of his way to handpick somebody to be the prophet that's main problems are being racist, sexist, and homophobic? There are millions, maybe even billions of people out there with less serious problems than that. Why wouldn't God pick one of them? None of that even matters, okay? Because we don't rely on the prophet to get revelation from God. We have our own personal revelation, and that's what matters most. Well, if you're just relying on personal revelation and it doesn't matter what the prophet says, then why do you need a prophet at all? Are you done? Also, I was going to say that it seems like you're just looking for reasons to be mad at the church. Why don't you talk about the good stuff the church does? The church spends billions of dollars on advertising for itself, trying to sell this religion to people. That doesn't have to be my job. They do plenty of that on their own. In fact, sometimes they advertise on my YouTube videos, which means that they're directly paying me ad revenue. They don't need any more help advertising themselves. I'm making videos to show the other side that they don't want talked about. So you admit it. You're just a hateful anti-Mormon that's trying to drag people down to hell with you. If you say so, pal.